Hello, my friends. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. I'm yours, Paul Sibanda, SDA historian and the author of the book God's Grace to Our African Race, Volume 1, a book that speaks about the history and the heritage of Black Adventism in the United States of America and in Southern Africa. So today I'm looking at a question that says, how come, if the Seventh-day Adventist Church began in South Africa, then how come Zimbabwe or Solusi became more prominent than, than Adventism in South Africa? And what was the reason behind that? And there are some people that actually believe that Adventism began in Zimbabwe and not in South Africa because, of Solusi and its influence around Africa. But it is true that Adventism began in South Africa, yes, but somehow, there was a shift. When Solusi came in existence in 1894, there was a shift of purpose. Within the missionaries that were there, and Solusi seemed to be getting more favor. Everybody was interested in the growth of Solusi. Solusi Mission had come at a time, when blacks didn't have uh, a mission, you know. Uh, so everybody, all the blacks actually, they looked up to Solusi as their sort of like Messiah, as far as Adventism was concerned. So in 1894, when Solusi was established after a grant from Cecil John Rhodes, meanwhile, I think we're familiar with the story, of Asa Robinson and Peter Wessels. They went to Cape Town and had a meeting with Cecil John Rhodes, who was overseeing the Cape Colony and Southern Rhodesia. And so they were given a letter that they were supposed to go and give to Dr. Leander Starr Jameson, who was the governor of Bulawayo. And in fact, they were told to choose any land that was not occupied, and they asked for 12,000 acres, and that is what they were given. And when they go to Bulawayo, Dr. Leander Starr Jameson told them to look for land anywhere where they wanted around. That was 12,000 acres, as long as there was nobody occupying it. And when they were in Bulawayo, they were actually told by the natives that when they go and choose a site for a mission, they should not choose a site in the territory of the Matebele people, because in those days they were mean, warlike people. So they told them, you know what, it's best you settle amongst the Kalangas that were peaceful and things like that. And so they went west of Bulawayo, about 35 kilometers, about 50 kilometers, sorry, about 50 kilometers to a place that was then called Solusi later. And they established Solusi Mission there. And things happened. One thing led to another, and Solusi was established. It became a school, and the first teacher there was a man called Mr. Lutuli. Mr. Lutuli, the father of the ANC stalwart what's his name? I've forgotten his name, but yes, Albert Lutuli. Yes, Albert Lutuli. So the father of Albert Lutuli was the first teacher at Solusi. Unfortunately, he died early uh, in the early years of the Solusi establishment, and he is actually buried at Solusi University. So the shift, came about in 1894-95 when all the missionaries were headed to Bulawayo, to Solusi. And Solusi was gaining momentum, Solusi was making progress. Adventism at Solusi was making progress. There were out schools, out missions, that were created, like Umkupavula, that was close by, and others, and the Advent message was, speeding around that area and around Bulawayo. And so the shift, came about when Adventism was shifting its focus from South Africa to Solusi in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. Why? Mainly because in South Africa, uh, most of the work that was being done was done for the whites around those days, and there was a lot of racism. There was a lot of inequalities. There was a lot of segregation, and so Lucy came and sort of like became the mecca of Adventism in Africa. Uh, Actually, one historian writes and says, so Lucy became the mother and the almona of all the missions, you know, and we have it today as Solusi University.